Hi everybody! So today I am going to do a demo on how to cut your hair. Curly girl style, diva cut style. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is just a small demo on a small section of my hair here. As you can see, I missed it. It's too long, longer than the other side. So I'm going to show you just the right place to cut the curls so that you can try this at home when you need to spruce up your own hair. I'm always just a little bit nervous whenever I get started to see whether or not it works out better. So let me tell you real quick about my hair before I get started cutting. I've been doing the curly girl method for over a year, and I started with pretty short hair, and it's just been getting longer and longer. With a short haircut, you have to trim it every month to keep it the same shape. Otherwise, it will start to go a little more limp and feel like it's losing its shape. So it was getting to be a lot of work, a lot of upkeep, and I finally decided that I would start to let it grow long. But in the process of letting it grow long, I realized the shape still wasn't always exactly what I wanted. So I'm trimming still, it seems like every month, but in such a way that my hair is still growing. So that's cool. I mean, it's actually, if I pull it down, it's below my collarbone now. So just the other night I trimmed my hair, and I took it from what was a little bit of an A-line to a little bit more of a rounding effect here and a little bit more of a rounding effect here. So it wasn't so much of a straight line, and brought some of the length up right here around my face. I ended up missing this section, so let's go ahead and finish off that. The first thing you need to know about cutting your own hair is to always make sure you don't cut it too short. And I've talked about this in another video of mine. But depending on your curl type, that's where you need to really consider this. My curl type is 2C, 3A. So if my hair ringlets more like this one here, obviously it's going to be shorter than this one that's just kind of noodly today. But because I like to have a lot of variety in my hair, I need to make sure that I don't get it too short, because on some days when I have extra volume, or I want to pull it up a certain way, or it's extra curly, I don't want to risk having it be too short. So I always lean on the long side. For this curl type, 2C to 3A, you're going to want to have at least 5 inches or 6 inches of length on your curl, okay? Then the next thing you want to know is where to cut it. I'm going to start by trimming the ends, and then I'll go back in and put a couple layers right here. So I really just go by eye, but sometimes you can pull the hairs over. I guess I should double check, because maybe these hairs are straighter on the left today. If I pull it down, they really look about the same. But I can tell this one's a tiny bit longer, and that's okay. I'm just going to do it anyway, because I'm not going to cut off very much here. Alright, so what you want to do is get the hair that you're going to use. Okay, we're going to start with this one back here. Get the other ones out of the way, obviously. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is figure out where to cut this. Get it turning so you can see it. You can see how it starts to bend and curl, and if it was longer, this is where it would start to form another ringlet. Okay, so what I've learned from my own curls in this curl pattern is that I find it to be best to cut somewhere right here in the middle of the bend and the next bend. So in the middle, and I do not cut straight across. No way. I do not just cut straight across. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and then I'll come back and touch it up later. And I'll show you this. I'm going to show you why I don't cut it straight across. Let's cut it straight across today. Right here in the middle, straight line. Okay, I want you to look really closely at what happened here. I don't like the way that looks. Look at how blunt that looks. I don't think it's attractive. I just really don't. Maybe some of you do. Some people say that you should do it that way so you get more thickness on the end. But I don't like the way that looks. It looks like my little girl came and whacked my curl off, and I'm like, oh, what'd you do to my hair? I don't like it. I like it to have more of a tapered effect. This one's a little bit frizzier, but you can see that it has more of a point to it and more of a tapered effect. Let's turn these the same direction. Okay, I want you to look at the difference. Okay, I just feel like leaving it more tapered is going to look more natural and it's going to blend in with your other curls better and stuff. So let's go ahead and taper that now. Okay, you need to hold it in such a way here that we can get it, okay, curling in this direction. And you're not going to cut from the outside of the curl. You're going to cut from the inside of the curl. And come in and taper that going in towards the center of the curl. Okay, and I mean, I didn't take off that much. It doesn't take a lot. Get it at the right angle and make sure this is blended, and just a little bit like that. You don't want to fan it out this way. You want to fan it out this way, and then it will be easier for you to see. Okay, so a vertical fan, and then you can kind of go at it a little bit easier. Okay, so see, now what I've basically done is a slant cut. And I don't want to slant it too much more than that. Just a little bit at a slant, not straight. Do you see? And I don't want to slant it deeper than that because then the ends will look thin. All right? When I was trimming my hair just the other day, I went through and I shortened the slant cut on a lot of my pieces of hair because they were a little bit too thin on some of the ends, and they do that a little bit after they grow out. But as you can see, this is more graceful now, and it has more of a tapered end there. So I know that was like a really long explanation, and I kind of had to hold it all different ways and make sure I was really careful. But I'm telling you, when I cut my hair at home, it takes a long time. The reason why we cut from the inside instead of the outside is because it will reduce frizz. All right, as you can see, if we're looking at the outside of the curl, we want it to be smooth. We don't want to have little frizzy hairs sticking out at the bend. So if we cut from the inside of the curl, any of the little shorter pieces that we cut will be on the inside of the curl. So that's always tucked in underneath that bend, and then those little hairs won't stick out. Okay, all right, let's do a couple more of these. Okay, this one here needs just a little. I'm going to hold this just the right way. Go in towards the hair from the inside of the curl. Okay, that's it. All right, let's do a couple more. Get it turning so you can see what you're doing. Okay, and I'll show you this fanned out. You can see how it has some shorter hairs on the inside there, but they're concealed, especially when you keep the frizz down and when it's on the inside of that curl. We're just going to take off a little bit. That's it. Alright, so as I'm looking at my hair now, it still has this really elongating effect on this one side, but it's the same length. So I don't want to cut any more off the length, but I need to get this one taken care of right here. We're going to bring it up. Okay, and I'm going to cut these two right here. Whenever you're cutting layers in your own hair, make sure that your curls that you're cutting are not too thick, not a huge clump. This one might even be getting a little bit too thick depending on how thick your hair is or your curl type. Because this is right here by my face, and I don't want this section of my hair to get too thin, like I don't want to cut off a whole chunk up here and have nothing left down here. I'm going to separate this. Also, look up above to see if the hairs are twisted so that you really know where these hairs lay. Actually, go the other way, see? Okay, so you're going to do a staggering effect. Let me get this spread apart here first. let me tell you a little bit more about the staggering effect. You can see here, if you look at my layers, I have the end of one here, 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 here. And you can see how every inch or two, I have a little bit of the end of a ringlet that is showing there. And that's going to give you a little bit of a staggering effect here. It's more of a layered effect, I guess, but when you're here by your face, especially, or along the back of your head, you're going to want to do this staggering effect. I talk about this in my home Diva Cut video, the one where my husband helped me cut my hair. And I have a drawing, actually, that shows you how to kind of skip every other curl when you're cutting. So I'm going to show you that here. I already have one curl that's short right here, so then this one would be long. So I'm going to come to this one here to make it short. Okay, and I like the length right there, so I'm going to make the same length here. So let's see where we want to cut that. Looks like in the middle of this bend right here. So get it up at the right angle. And remember that we're going to be cutting right here. There we go. Now, because I'm not on the end, it felt a little bit different. Did you see that? So you're going to want to come up from underneath the hair and cut towards the center of the hair. Okay? Let's see if I didn't get that too long. A little bit longer than the other one. I think that's going to be okay. They don't have to be exactly the same because you want to kind of fill in the area. You don't want it to look like a straight line. Okay, and then this next one, I got them turned around here. There we go. Okay, so we have short, long, and because this is a thicker curl, you can see with the hairs fanning out that it's a little too blunt, so I'm going to actually touch that one up. A little bit more of a deeper slant there. And then when that all comes together, I'm going to turn the hair around so that I can see it better. And just take your time. Sometimes it takes more than one. Okay, I think that's better now. There we go. Okay, so short, long, short, and then this is the one that I was saying would be long as well. So do I want to get any other hairs out? Short, long, short, long. So this could have a short piece and then this one could be long. So let's pull out one more little hair. Make sure it's not too thick. I'm also bringing the line a little bit downward right there. So as you can see now, I have a little bit more going on there and it's not so dragging. Take your time, move it around, make sure you're pulling on the right hair. Consider how short it's going to be on a good hair day. Get these other hairs down to really give a good compare. Alright, well I know I didn't do that much and maybe it took longer than it should have today. When I get this re-wetted and a little bit fluffed back up, I think it's going to blend really well. But as you can see, I mean, it just doesn't have your eye going, you know, like it did anymore. There's a little bit more to it, but it was very subtle. The little hairs that I cut in there are not real obvious, but it made a difference. And overall, that's just what you really need to remember when you're cutting your hair. Take your time, look at it from all different angles. Don't cut too much. A little goes a long way, okay? So thank you for watching today. In a few weeks, I am going to be doing a demo on squish to condish. So I want you guys to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn the notifications on, so that when that video comes, you won't miss it. So I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Put any of your questions below. Bye.